Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be seeing the gaming performance of HP Pavilion15 ec1046ax. This laptop comes with an AMD Ryzen 5 4600H processor and the Nvidia GTX 1650 graphics card. It also has one single stick 8GB RAM with a 512GB SSD. So today we'll be playing the Need for Speed Payback and we will see how the game runs in this computer. We will play on all the settings and see the difference, the FPS, how much it can go. So as you can see in the display, this is the FPS meter, this is the RAM, this is the CPU, this is the GPU 2, which is the Nvidia GTX 1650, and this is the GPU 1, the integrated one with the AMD. So let me show you the settings of the game. So as you can see, we are running on the low. Let's get started. I'm using an external keyboard so that I don't have to touch these areas. So as you can see, it runs very smoothly. The graphics also looks decent. And we can get around 70 to 80 FPS in the low settings. Most of the time, if you see the FPS drop, it will be on the city area, because in the city area you will have the traffic where the FPS drops a little bit, but it comes back to the stable position again. Oops. The graphics is quite good on the low settings also. I don't think it will be a problem. If you go to the desert area, the FPS will increase. Most of the time when we play game, we have a target of 60 FPS, which is the sweetest position. In the 60 FPS you will not feel any kind of lag or nothing. Actually 60 FPS is better, but it is very playable within 45 to 50, or if you go over that, it is very playable. You will feel the difference if suddenly the FPS drops from over 60 to directly to 45. Then you will feel the lag, but other than that you will feel no problem at all. As you can see, the FPS already touched 100 as we came to an open area. It drops when you have a heavy traffic, when there are a lot of cars around you. So we can see an average of 70 FPS in the low settings. In the city area where the FPS drops, now let me change the setting to medium. So I have set it to medium, as you can see. it's medium now. Now let's get back again and let's see how much FPS we can get from the medium settings. Now the graphics looks a bit better and the FPS is also decent in the medium settings. I have no app running in the background, just the FPS meter, which is the MSI afterburner. The game already has eaten up around 5.5 GB. It's running pretty smooth, no lag at all. I cannot feel any kind of lag or nothing. It's very smooth, it's very fun to play in the medium settings, and there is no major FPS drop. This laptop also has a 144Hz display, but you will feel the difference if you are running the game in a higher FPS. Other than that, it's not that noticeable. I don't know where am I going. I'm just driving around. This is the city area. Now let me take you to the hill area or on highway maybe. So we have came to the highway, which is a kind of desert area, and here you see the FPS is pretty high, over 90, and it is pretty stable in 90 with the medium settings. Around 80 you will get if you come to the highway area. Here the FPS rate increases because the area is pretty wide and pretty big, but in the city area the FPS drops, but that is not much of an issue. If you play with the medium settings, then this is the graphics you are getting, and this is the FPS rate, which is pretty decent. It's over 60, pretty smooth. Sometimes it touches 60s, but it again goes up. See, the FPS dropped as I came to a narrow road where the traffic is a bit more than the highway. It looks pretty good in the medium settings also. It's not a problem. The graphics also looks very decent, very good in the medium settings. In the low also it was quite good, but in the medium it is better. Now let's turn the settings into high. Now we have changed the settings into high, as you can see. I hope you can see. Now let's try this game on high settings, and later we'll be playing on ultra. See, the FPS dropped in the big numbers. Now we are getting an average of 60, but it already touched the 50s in the high settings, and the graphics looks pretty good. You can see the details of the roads. You see the roads very detailed in the high graphics. The FPS is also in a very decent position. It is getting average of 60, which is very good, very smooth. As I've said, from 45 to 60 it feels very smooth, but if it is 60 and more than 60, it's of course better. But if you want to play with a smooth feel, then 45 to 50 is enough for you as a budget gamer, because if you can spend a lot of money on your computer or on your PC to play games, of course better FPS is of course better. But if you don't want to use a lot of money and you can only afford a budget laptop or budget PC, then this should be enough. As for me, this is enough for me. Because the majority is always playing on the budget series because they just want to enjoy in their home. But if you want to have the professional gaming life, or if you are a professional gamer, then of course better processor or better GPU is preferable. So this is in the highways. In the high settings we are getting 70s. It's pretty decent because we are in the highway right now. As I've said, in the highway you will see increased FPS because the traffic is less. Let me show you in the city area. So now we are in the city area and we are playing the game on high settings. As you can see, also in the city area it is giving around 60 FPS in average, which is really good. This game is a very high graphical demanding game. And it really looks good. Now it is around at 50 FPS. Now it dropped to 40, 45, 48 in the high settings. but still I cannot feel any lag in the 40 fps, 45 fps also. It is not laggy or not choppy. It is still feeling smooth, which is really good. Actually, if you are getting around 45 to 50 fps in high graphics, it should be enough for you if you are targeting to buy a budget series laptop like this. This is a budget series gaming laptop. I will give the link below of this laptop. Oops. Still we are getting around an average of 55 to 60 fps, as you can see. 40 only touched once. We are getting around 70 this moment. The traffic's also not so low, but it's giving us around 60, which is very decent. So I think you are getting some idea about this laptop and this graphics card, how the graphics card is giving the performance, especially in this kind of game which has a very high graphics demand. It really looks good. Now let's try the ultra settings. Now we will go to the ultra settings and see how it performs. So as you can see, it is in ultra. Now let's try it out. Now we are in ultra settings. I've played this game before, and I played this game in ultra settings. I don't feel any lag at all, but the FPS drops sometimes to 45, sometimes to 40, but that's okay. It comes back to 50s again, which is really good. Actually, as I've said before, and I'm saying it now again, 45 to 60, this FPS rate is enough if you are targeting to buy a budget laptop and you're playing the game on ultra settings, which is very high. Still it's running pretty nice, pretty smooth, and getting around an average of 60 FPS. That's really good. We are driving in the city area and we are getting around 60 to 70 FPS. Now it does 80. Now let's go to the highway area and show you. So we have came to the highway area. Now as you can see, we are getting an average of 70s in FPS. Sometimes it touches 50, but till now we didn't see it goes to the 50s. It's on the 60s, 64. We are running on the game on ultra settings. You have to remember that. So as you can see, we have got around 50 to 60 FPS in the ultra settings. I think it gives you an idea how this laptop performs. If you want to buy a laptop which is in budget segment, this laptop is pretty good for you. As you can see, we are running this game. This is a very high graphical demanding game, and we are running it on ultra settings around 52 FPS. It is giving us a very good performance, we can say that. But if you are looking for more FPS or more smooth gaming performance, then there is always a better option for you. But with this laptop, you can also play it more than 50, and you can get around 60 FPS or more than that. If you lower the settings a bit, I didn't feel that much of a difference between high and ultra settings. So if you want to get higher FPS, then you can always lower your settings, or you can also try the mixture settings. Like, you can select the high in detail and some parts lower, which will also increase your FPS if you are targeting your FPS. But if you are targeting to get a good graphics which looks good, then high or ultimate ultra settings is always preferable. This is the personal preference, and let me show you the heat of this laptop. As I've played this game for 15 minutes, I show you from the Omen command which comes with the laptop. So as you can see, it is currently showing 82 degrees temperature of the CPU, which is really decent. And it is showing the temperature of the GPU, which is 98%, around 62 degrees Celsius, which is decent. There is no overheating issue with this laptop. So here you guys, I think you got some idea about how this laptop gives performance, especially with the Need for Speed Payback game. You can run in all the settings with an average of 50 FPS, which is really decent, from 45 to 60 as I've mentioned earlier. For me, for my personal preference, I feel this is enough for me, but everyone has their personal preferences. So that's it for today. Please do like and share and subscribe if you have liked the video. If you think this video has helped you, then please like the video and share it with your friends, and please subscribe the channel. Help me out to improve, and please let me know in the comment section below which game you want to see after this one. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Till then, peace.